Hey everyone, it's your boy Pee Wee back with another video. So today is just gonna be a quick little video, just hoping to answer a question that I've seen some people ask. Um, and that would just be, is it worth reading comics on the official websites like WEBTOON or webcomics? Just those, just the official translation apps. And I'm a little torn, to be honest, on whether or not I would recommend it or not. I would say yes in the aspect of if you're looking for on Webtoon, I'm pretty sure this is mainly just Korean comics, so you're not gonna run into a lot of like comics with like a base set of censorship. But I know the webcomics app does like the Chinese ones, or at least has a lot of Chinese comics on there that do have a lot of base censoring. And to be honest, when it comes to these official sites, I lean more so on the no side, only in the aspects of because the chapters are always behind, or at least they're usually behind. In terms of like when they release, the translations sometimes is like on Webtoon for a while they had really bad translations. Recently they've gotten better. I've seen some pretty decent translations coming out of Webtoon nowadays, so I feel like they've solved that issue. But when it comes to Korean comics, there's really no real need to read the original version of these comics when you can read like this one on other sites, this one on other sites you can find already translated chapters of all these that will usually already be caught up to the raws, whereas the webtoon or webcomics usually are behind by a certain margin. So when it comes to reading webtoons, I mean, if you don't mind waiting and you just want to read the official version of these comics, then I'd say go for it. Obviously, when it comes to these official sites, you have to pay to unlock the chapters and so on and so forth. Um, so as long as you're willing to pay, then I as long as you're willing to pay and wait for chapter releases, then I don't see why not. Same thing goes with the web comics. I mean, when it comes to the web comics one for Chinese comics, I feel like the censorship aspect of Chinese comics turn a lot of people away from comics in general. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so my nose is kind of plugged. Where you're reading a comic and there's just like a white spot in the middle of like the image or like the square of where the comic's supposed to be. And like you're not even on the official English translations for certain comics, you're not going to get away from that entirely because if it's just a bare naked person, like obviously even with the official English translation, they have to white it out to meet a certain age rating. So you're not even really guaranteed to get away from censorship in general when it comes to even these official English translations. So, would I recommend reading on the Webtoon or webcomics or Toonilly or whatever? Um, I'd say you can't go wrong doing so, but I personally still read on the other sites. I do read a lot of official translations on the webcomics and um whatnot, but so to speak, I tend to stick more to my piracy sites. I will admit, which isn't a good thing because I like the whole principle of pirating is it's not a good thing, especially nowadays with the way the piracy industry has shifted. Like I talked about in my last video, um, where you have to pay for piracy nowadays for the most part in general, anyways, and so now I would say though that more than ever is a perfectly fine time to what's the word I'm looking for? What just transition there it is. Transition from piracy sites to these official sites because if you're going to pay, I mean, if you as long as you're paying to the official ones, at least it's going towards I guess you could say better place than these piracy sites since the piracy sites are just people profiting off other people's works. So, but I just want to make a quick video discussing that. I would say that now is the best time to start getting into these webtoon or webcomic apps and stuff like that for it's just the way the industry is now. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today, and I hope that cleared up what anybody was really thinking, that these sites really aren't a bad choice to read on if you really wish to. So, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.